Chief Meteorologist Jack Griffin here, and we have a tornado warning, not for the metro, but the storms that are up in the northern part of the state. We have a new tornado warning there in Woods County that goes until 11:30 here. So this is, again, more of the storm area that we were thinking that was going to be kind of more of the issue. Really, honestly, the entire night. This is really where most of our activity was supposed to be, up in the northern part of the state. We thought it was going to be attached more towards with the Kansas storms there, but the Kansas storms are now way off to the east. They got going earlier on. And so now we are just looking at some storms just kind of left over here in and around the northern part of the state. And you can clearly see with our reflectivity there within Woods County that we do have our tornado warning. That it goes until 11:30 here, and that is radar indicated. And that one has also very large hail with it too, up to around golf ball sized hail. So moving to the east at around 25 miles an hour. So it's a slow moving storm here. Again, it's going to be probably tracking just right along into the north there of the Waynoka area, but we will do a track from that and we'll put it on our velocity. Yeah, you can definitely tell where that thing is. So this is very impressive looking now. So tornado warning from there, moving east at around 25 miles an hour. Again, the Avard area there, it gets picked up. Waynoka, you're probably right there on the the end there of the polygon. The Hopeton area, also within that too, and the Tacoma area too. We're also right there on the very edge. So again, tornado warning here up in Woods County until 11:30 tonight here. So we got about 38 more minutes left of that. Definitely looking at a well-defined area there of rotation on our velocity. So this is obviously very easy to pick up on. And this will go until 11:30 tonight here. Again, across more of the northern part of the state. This is not in the metro area. This is now much farther to the north there within Woods County. In fact, as we take a look at our reflectivity, you can see we have also another severe warned storm there too, going right through Enid right now too. So Enid, that's got a severe thunderstorm warning there until 11 o'clock for Garfield counties there. That one is primarily more for your wind and your hail threat there, and that's yep. So yeah, so we got that one also looking at the potential there for some golf ball sized hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. So still probably a hail threat primarily with your storms there within the Enid area, and then also still too in the Woods area there too, south of the Fair Valley area. So within both of these warnings there, we are still very concerned about large hail, strong winds, and obviously in the case of Woods County, that tornado warning, and that continues until 11:30 here tonight. We have also severe thunderstorm warnings that continue until 11, so those will be coming to an end here in a little bit. And then we've got Garfield County until 11 o'clock too. But some very large hail, both with those storms then too. Then you've got our large storm here that's been passing on through the metro. You can see that it is now primarily now moving out of Oklahoma County and is now going to be moving towards the McLeod area, Rossville, Fowler. So we are now looking at parts of the storm exiting the warning area, which is fantastic news, as that means that we are looking at that storm to be really on its downward trend. It's obviously close to the radar, so it can kind of throw it off here, but it looks to be extremely disorganized now at this point, which is such a relief here. But we're not done, unfortunately, with our severe weather, as again, we've got more warnings that are off more to our north. And in fact, it's that northwest one there across Woods County that is now our primary concern. So you can see that when we turn back on to Vance Air Force Base, that we've got that well-defined hook echo there. And that's going to be passing to the north of the Waynoka area. So the Avard, Hopeton, Tacoma areas. Got to make sure that we are, again, taking precautions here, going to our safe spot. Again, very, very good-looking area there on our velocity. So rotation very strong here with that storm. So it's now by far the most powerful storm that we have across the state right now. But there's also the chance for some large hail and also damaging wind gusts associated with this storm too. Clearly not as populated as it is in the metro area, but still, though, one that we have to really keep our eye on. And again, we want to make sure that if you're in these spots here, the Avard, the Hopeton, the Tacoma area, and even Waynoka, that we again are seeking shelter and going to our tornado shelter, our safe spot there, and taking our tornado precautions throughout this evening. Again, the time right now, almost 11 o'clock at night, and we are looking at this tornado warning to continue here until 11:30. So it's going to be going on for a little bit longer here. It looks to be impressive, but in terms of there being, any debris with this one here, it's going to be tough to see. Don't really think we've seen much there with that one, but it definitely looks to be good with our notch and on velocity. Both views here, both base velocity and storm relative there, looks to be still a very impressive storm. We also have the opportunity there for some strong winds and large hail too. So you've got your potentially 70-mile-per-hour winds and also very large hail with it too. Again, by the Fair Valley area there within Woods County. So we've also got those threats to contend with too. Strong winds, large hail, heavy rain, and also that tornado potential too. So there's still going to be a severe threat here as we go more into the nighttime hours tonight. This is really where most of our warnings and things like that were really supposed to be up here. What we had come on through the metro area today, to be honest, just was not really projected very well. There was one model run that had that, and it was one model run, that was all it was, and it had that coming on through, a supercell coming on through the metro area there. So, and that ended up being what we had. So it was obviously a very long day with that one supercell thunderstorm, very long-lived here for hours and hours. We were dealing with it being tornado warned. But right now, that one has come down in intensity, and now we're left with these storms more toward north that we were primarily concerned about there with that tornado potential. So we got our down farther to the south there within the metro. Very, very ragged looking storm there now over Choctaw, McLeod, Fowler, Clarks Heights, Meeker, Adelot, Pink. We also have, though, some very heavy rain that has fallen too. In fact, a lot of spots here had accumulation that was very impressive here with our rainfall rates. In fact, as you can kind of see with our that supercell, you can just watch it basically come all the way from Ellis and Roger Mills County, and you just have this huge area here of radar estimated rainfall coming in of around probably 3 inches or so. Just very, very heavy amounts there of rain, and it's all been that one supercell passing on through there. And then also now to the north too, we're watching more in the way of some heavy rain up there as they are dealing with their very strong wind threat too. So Freedom, there you go with that one. You've got our area flood advisory that shows up for there. As a result of that, there could be radar estimated amounts coming in, over 4 inches worth of rain. So very heavy rain also being picked up here with our storms this evening. And that's as a result of how warm and how humid it is. A lot of moisture to work with out there this evening. And so the flooding threat is also something that we don't want to discount here with our storms for the rest of the night tonight. As they're going to be training, they're going to be kind of slowly moving here. And again, we've got that potential to still continue on here. But again, the reason why we're still going on with coverage area is because we have our tornado warning here for Woods County that goes until 11:30 here tonight. It's north of the Waynoka area. In terms of our velocity, looks to be broadening out now at this point a little bit there. Still, though, got a notch that we have to worry about there to the northwest of the Waynoka area, but looks to be slightly more broad in visual intensity compared to what it looked like just a couple scans ago. But this is a storm that's kind of all by itself. It's at the very end here of what are multiple storms that are in more of northern Oklahoma. And so with that being said, there's a lot of areas there that are essentially untouched. We haven't really had much in the way of storm activity through this part of the state in a while now. And that's likely why it's still going to be able to hold on to its intensity. We will see, though, how it's able to progress throughout the rest of the evening, because we could be looking at it to be tracking primarily generally right there along and potentially just south of the Oklahoma-Kansas line. So we might be looking at this to be potentially sticking around within Oklahoma for a while. We're not sure yet, though, because a lot of our storms have been able to kind of have a mind of its own here like we have seen this evening. So this is our storm to watch out for in Woods County. Tornado warning there goes until 11:30, half hour left of that one. It is for the Waynoka area, and also Alva, you guys should be just to the north of that, so you guys should be all right there. But the Avard area, the Hopeton area, the Tacoma area, that is where we have the locations that we'd have to watch out for our tornado potential. You still have our area there of reflectivity showing that we've got a little notch there. And then you can kind of see that on our velocity, there it is, on our velocity that we are still looking at, again, there's definitely rotation there, but it's very broad at this point. But we've been seeing now for a lot of our storms here this evening they've been able to hold on together, and they've been able to cycle through at times here throughout the evening. We'll see if this storm ends up doing that, but hopefully we're kind of looking at this to be kind of a one and done thing here, but we also might be looking at the storm kind of at the beginning here of its life cycle that will then continue potentially more into the overnight hours here. We just kind of have to watch and wait and see how this one will go here for us. We're going to get probably a lot of hail reports that are coming in out of the metro area here. By tomorrow morning. Just checking a few things here. Just texting everybody to make sure that we all kind of know the plan here, because again we are looking at again still a continuing tornado warning here, but we're going to have probably a lot in the way of hail reports here from our storms that passed on through the metro area earlier on today. That's going to be something very interesting to see what will happen out of that one as we take a look at our hail swath here. Has been just immense here with all of our storms here out there. Yeah, so now we're just looking at really more of that hail threat and also that wind threat to be a potential issue here for us with some of our storms to our north. Looks like we got a new severe thunderstorm warning there for Garfield County that goes until 11:45. So that one is for ping pong size or golf ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. So we're still looking at this storm to be primarily more of a hail threat here for us that just passed through the Edmond or the Enid area there, had us heading towards the Cropper area and north of Fairmount. You can kind of see with our hail chances there, just to the north of Shea there, you got a large spot there picking up 3+ inch diameter hail. So this is still a very strong storm that just passed them through the Enid area there with some large hail with this thing too. And so this is likely tracking right there along Highway 412 there, and it's moving generally off to the east. So Cropper, Garber, Fairmount, as well as Billings, you guys are in this new severe thunderstorm warning polygon. This will go until 11:45 tonight. It is, as you can see here, all within Garfield County. So we're all within Garfield County with this one. And then you've got our tornado warned storm there back off to the northwest. That goes until 11:30. That does surround our tornado warning area there. And let's see what the National Weather Service is doing with that one. That's primarily, again, for your ping pong size, your golf ball sized hail, ping pong sized hail, and that size there, 60-mile-per-hour winds. So we're still looking at that to be a potential too with all of these storms there. Got some hail reports there in the Enid area. So again, we're probably going to be looking at some Enid hail reports that are going to be at least a quarter in diameter, if not even larger than that, with our storms that just passed on through there. We've got our supercell that's dying within the metro area there. That warning technically goes for another, 9 more or 11 more minutes there. And that storm is basically out of the warning there. So that's some great news. In fact, that thing looks just dead right now. So that's good for us there in the metro. So us here in the metro, even a little bit to the east there, Hara, McLeod, Meeker, Adelot, Fowler, Shawnee. Obviously, those are spots that we seem to always get nocturnal tornadoes once they pass through the metro. That's actually not going to happen here tonight, as our storms are really just falling apart now, which is great news here. So the metro, all in the clear now with our storms as they continue to move really slowly to the east and really are fading away fast now at this point, which is good. You then have in Garfield County and really the Woods County storms there as our main issues now at this point. Garfield County 1, severe thunderstorm warning goes until 11:45. And then in Woods County, we've got our tornado warning there that goes until 11:30. Again, slow moving here with this one, about 30 miles an hour. So putting tracks on it's probably not going to pick up on a lot of spots. As you'd imagine, this is pretty rural spot there, but it's, again, looks good there with our velocity. In fact, it's the best it's ever looked right now. So it's north of the Waynoka area, by the Avard area, Hopeton, Tacoma. Again, we're probably looking at it around 30-mile-an-hour track to the east. So we'll do another one of those. So again, the Avard area at 11:17 arrival time here, Hopeton at 11:28. Again, want to make sure that we are taking our tornado precautions as of this time. It's a pretty tight area now of rotation. And so we also want to make sure that we're also in the Tacoma area too, watching this storm. You're right in the very end of the polygon, but we've got this storm that looks to be still quite impressive on the radar, both from a reflectivity and also from a velocity standpoint, where we have to watch out for this still to continue on here with more of a tornado threat. This is, again, going until the actual tornado warning goes until 11:30, but these spots, Avar at 11:17, the Hopeton area at 11:28, that would be potential arrival times for your storms there. Just want to take a look and see if we have anything from our debris tracker there. Nothing really there recently, so that's good news there for that. Yeah, reflectivity, whatever's there, it's going to be rain wrapped. So that's going to make that another issue there with that. It's going to be rain wrapped. Because here is where it looks like we have it, and then there it is in there. So it's going to be rain wrapped to the north of the Waynoka area in Woods County, moving off to the east there. So Waynoka, you guys are probably going to be okay. But the Avard area, the Hopeton, Tacoma areas, you guys are going to be down the line there for a potential close call here with a potential rain-wrapped tornado. And we want to make sure that we are, again, taking our tornado precautions as of this time. Just checking a few things here. Appreciate everybody being patient here. Just me here in the Weather Center. But again, we've got tornado warning here for Woods County until 11:30. And then we're also watching a surrounding thunderstorm warning for that to take into account the golf ball sized hail. And then we also have for Garfield County too. Now just off to the east now, the Enid area, that is where we have another severe thunderstorm warning, primarily there for golf ball sized hail, as it's going to be the main threat there with that one. That storm here, we'll go zoom in on that one. There's not much rotation with that one. We'll still take a look at it, but there's really nothing there that's rotating. So that's good news there. But this one clearly has rotation with it. Makes sense why we still have our tornado warning with this one. We also have the chance there for some very large hail, and also the chance for some very strong winds too. So again, we've got that to contend with there with our storm in Woods County. All right, so strong winds north of the Waynoka area, likely in regards to the supercell thunderstorm that we do have there. And then we also have some very heavy rain and large hail with it too. We can see down here, again, just a little bit longer here of our severe thunderstorm warning until 11:15 for Cleveland as well as Oklahoma counties. That is now dead. So we are looking much better now in that regard. We'll take a look at our other radars there for Frederick. There really should not be anything coming in out of Texas now. Amarillo, we'll take a look at them. Should not be anything out there. Yeah, so we are just trying to get rid of these storms here that are in northern Oklahoma and that are then going to go potentially towards Kansas there. You can kind of see that a lot of Kansas is actually cleaned out as a result of their storms moving on through much faster. In fact, they were basically able to stay north of the border there and eventually lift more to the northeast. In fact, now we have actually the strongest storms passing through the Kansas City area there. So those storms did not drag along the southern part of the state like we thought that they would, and also potentially move into more of northern Oklahoma. We just have our own thunderstorms out there now with these storms. So these are not Kansas storms that were left behind or dragged around. These are actually just more storms that developed there. And they're just northern Oklahoma where we thought that they would be, but we thought they'd be attached to more of those Kansas storms that are there, and those Kansas storms are now gone. So this has been a very weird day today where we've really not seen what we were supposed to see from a forecasting standpoint here. Don't think it's surprising that we've had the strong winds or the large hail like we have had. That's not really been a surprise. It's just really how we got to this point here that was very interesting. And our supercell that passed through the metro and a number of locations west of there really should have moved more into this zone up here, into northern and northwest Oklahoma, and it just never did. So that's, again, part of the reason why it's been such an interesting day today in the weather department across Oklahoma. But you still have, again, our two spots here that we are concerned about within northern and northwest Oklahoma there using the Vance Air Force Base radar. You've got in Woods County a severe thunderstorm warning that surrounds a tornado warning there, and then also in Garfield County a severe thunderstorm warning there too. The Garfield County one goes until 11:45. The Woods County tornado warning goes until 11:30. And still, though, it would be rain-wrapped, whatever is there. So it's, again, going to be whatever is rain-wrapped. You can't really see much of a notch there on the reflectivity, but you turn on velocity, you can definitely tell where that is there. There might be another area, too, of some additional rotation on the back side of it. So there might be a spot right there, but it's really somewhere in there. That's really where we have our best area there. Oops, our best area there of rotation. So a couple spots there within Woods County. In terms of anything doing any damage right now, that's going to be hard to see as it's very, very rural out there. But it looks impressive nonetheless here on the reflectivity. All right, so again, we've got basically two storms that we are concerned about now. Portions of Garfield County and then also Woods County. Garfield County until 11:45, Woods County until 11:30. Both of them are warned for, in addition to the tornado warning here in Woods County, both of them are warned for the potential for some very large hail. In fact, both of them have current warnings on them for what could be up to ping pong to maybe even golf ball sized hail. So the hail threat is also very high with these storms too. Take a look at our products currently in Woods County. You can definitely tell that we've got more of the hail core there. In Garfield County, it's a little bit more widespread and it's a little bit more kind of spread out there across more of the county. It's not so tight, but that's also because that storm that's in Garfield County is not as strong as the one that we do have within Woods County because of the just overall just tightness there of our velocity. So as we can see, going back to our velocity there, large area of rotation there, but also very strong couplet there. Again, nothing's really out there, but again, we are just off now to the kind of the west there of 281, and that is in Woods County, Waynoka area. You're going to stay likely far enough south there that we're not too concerned about you guys there. But yeah, this is still a very impressive looking area there of rotation that we are seeing with our storm, and it would be rain wrapped. Whatever is in there, it's going to be rain wrapped that we do have out there. Okay, latest from the National Weather Service. A lot of new hail reports that we're going to get out of these storms here that we had today. Just looking at a few more spots. Yep, so we are still just looking at that one area there of rotation, again, to the north there of the Waynoka area. And again, very good looking area there of rotation. You can see that our product is able to pick up on what could be, easily some very strong winds there of, at some points there, this has been warned up to around 70-mile-per-hour winds. So that's still a potential with this storm too. But whatever we do have out there is going to be rain wrapped north of the Waynoka area in a very rural area here, and that will still continue until 11:30. That is when this tornado warning still continues for Woods County. Now you'll see when we turn on our velocity and put a loop on this thing rather, you can just kind of tell that it's just in the same spot there, and because of that, we're looking at more of some of that deviant motion that's occurring here with other tornado warned storms here. So the actual storm itself is moving slowly to the east, but you can kind of see here we got multiple areas here of rotation that we're watching all north of the Waynoka area. So because of that, we really haven't seen much in the way of some eastward movement of our storm itself here. It's going to be kind of doing what it wants here, and because of the fact that it's within the supercell thunderstorm, it's going to be in rain wrapped here. It's going to be hard and dark too. It's going to be impossible to really see what's going to be happening there. So using our velocity, we can see that we've got this area there of rotation kind of holding on. Might be a little bit sloppy here in that last one, potentially becoming broken off from the actual main mesoscale system there. But whatever it is doing, it's clearly rain wrapped, and so it's going to be very hard to see what's happening there. A lot of lightning with this storm here too. So it's a very strong storm itself. It's a very healthy storm. And it's the last storm that we have in this line of storms here. We then have our severe thunderstorm warning storm for Garfield County. That is now well to the east of the Enid area now, so that still continues to move nice off to the east. And then our severe thunderstorm warning that is down in Oklahoma City in the metro area, that is now officially canceled. So we are now looking at just some showers on the kind of eastern and northeastern sides of the metro. Guthrie, you're probably just being missed now by some storms that are now just to the east of I-35 there, moving and tracking off more to the northeast. Yeah, the metro, we are now done with our storms here. It should be a dry day for tomorrow, and then we expect the chance for more storms to be in the forecast here for our Tuesday. We kind of think Tuesday we'll have the chance for more in the way of some isolated severe weather for parts of the state, but I think we're going to be good here for a little bit here in the metro until we get to Tuesday. Up farther to the north, we obviously have to get rid of these storms here, and that may still be a while, just due to the fact that they're in a healthy environment and they continue to be kind of more by themselves there. So the Woods County severe thunderstorm warning continues there. It has a potential there for golf ball sized hail, and then we have our tornado warning still with it too. And then for Garfield County, also looking at some of that golf ball sized hail there, now to the nearby the Garber area and to the northeast of the Fairmount area. That's where you're going to have your areas that are going to have the largest hail, likely just off to the north of Highway 412. So that's really where most of our issues there are within Garfield County. That continues until 11:45. Tornado warning that we do have for Woods County, that goes until 11:30. So we got about 13 more minutes left of that one there. The thing is, though, is that it still looks to be a little bit far less impressive now on the velocity. So that's great news there. So definitely look to be quite impressive there. You can kind of see how it's broken off. There's still some rotation, but this kind of more deviant motion here with our storm, but that's really looking to be far less impressive now as of this time. So we might be able to hopefully wrap this up here at 11:30. But we will see, though, as most of our storms here tonight have proven, they're going to do what they want to do here. There is enough spin in the atmosphere where they can still take advantage of that, and there is still that potential where it could be cycling, where we'd be then looking at more in the way of some development farther down the line. So there's no, we can't just totally say we're going to be done here just yet, but multiple views here of our velocity do show that this is now kind of coming on down, not as impressive looking, but it did look impressive there earlier on for sure. There's no doubt about that. But the National Weather Service did kind of trim a little bit there of that tornado warning. We'll get a new update from them on that. All right, so they canceled it for Woodward County. They're continuing here for Woods County until it's in their stationary golf ball sized hail. So yeah, it's hard to put a track on things here with that one. So again, it's still the same spots that are in play here: the Avard, the Hopeton, the Tacoma areas, Waynoka. At this point, we're kind of thinking you'd be a little bit farther down to the south there, but because of how this is moving and how tonight has gone in terms of the deviant motion, where it's really hard to predict which way it's going to be moving here, with the parent supercell moving in one direction, but the actual tornadoes themselves moving in different directions there. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with the next one here, but we'll keep an eye on it here for the next 11 minutes here. This goes until 11:30 for Woods County. The metro area, we are totally done with storms now, so that's good news. Our storms have really just faded away incredibly fast, and it just took them all day to do that, to fade away. But now you can see that with our loop there, just got a couple small little showers that are passing on through. Our biggest point now that we have will be the flooding issues that we have. Flash flood warning continues here for portions of Canadian as well as Oklahoma counties until 1:30 in the morning. So it's been thanks to all the heavy rain that we've seen out there. So if you work overnights and you have to drive, take it slow out there this evening, because the fact that there's a lot of roads that are probably have ponds on them in terms of some of the rain having a hard time, being able to clear the roadways there and really being able to drain away. The drain's probably potentially a little slow to catch up there, so a lot of rain has fallen here with our very, very efficient supercell that passed over us here. So just be aware of some of that roadway ponding out there if you work overnights here. But really, most of our storms remain well off to our north there, including a lot of lightning there with our Woods County storm. So the Alva area, you definitely have quite a bit in the way of a light show out there right now. But your severe thunderstorm warning within Garfield County, that storm is approaching now the end of the polygon. So we'll see what the National Weather Service wants to do with that one. We'll probably get an update here fairly soon out of that one. That one goes until 11:45, and so a lot of that storm is now moving towards getting closer to I-35 here. So we'll see if we're going to be able to get a new warning out of that one, or if they're going to let that one just expire as it heads towards the Billings, the Red Rock, and the Marland areas there. But that is what we have for storms in Garfield County until 11:45. Still, though, lots of lightning in the northern part of the state. And I really do think that severe thunderstorm warned storm, that tornado warned storm up in Woods County is probably going to be able to hold on to intensity here. It looks quite impressive now at this point. But it's still got an area there of rotation. The probably was a small little tornado, or maybe even, it's definitely radar indicated right now. It's tough to say if there actually was one that was on the ground. But whatever that was there, either an area of spin or a funnel cloud or maybe even an actual tornado itself, we think that the parent supercell kind of kept on moving there away from it. So it still does have a broad area of rotation. It's far, far more broad now than anything that it's looked like earlier on. So that main spin there was what was looking to be very impressive, and that looks like it's really retrograded, which means it moves in the wrong direction, moves backwards, moves off to the west, and so there's probably not much more left out of that circulation anymore. Still, the thing is still has an area of broad rotation that we are watching, and that remains the reason why we have that tornado warning here until 11:30. Again, it's hard to put a track on this thing because things have been pretty stationary, but the Avard, the Hopeton, the Tacoma area, we still got to make sure that we are taking our tornado precautions, going down to our shelter, going down to our safe spot, and taking shelter from this storm, as we have not only that tornado potential with it, but also the large hail and also the damaging winds too with it, as there's still the chance that some of these storms could produce 60, 70 mile per hour winds with some of these storms. The hail is also up to golf ball sized hail, so we are talking some fairly sizable hail with this storm too. So again, a lot in the way of threats still to be monitored here with that storm, and probably got a new little update there. Still shows that there's a broad area there of rotation as of this time. Okay, National Weather Service still kind of watching that storm up there. We then also are watching our Garfield County storm, probably some stronger winds on that one now, as you've got those winds there probably pushing right there along Highway 412. We'll take a look at storm relative. Yeah, so we've not much really there in terms of a velocity standpoint there. In fact, a lot of that storm is getting close to being out of the actual polygon itself. The products here that we're able to pick up on with our barren hail detector there, looking to be probably only around half of an inch or so. So that's really smaller hail now at this point that we have up in Garfield County. So some of that storm will be, again, coming out of the polygon, heading towards the Billings, the Ceres area there, the Ceres area there, rather, in Red Rock, Marland area, and there's likely, we got a new update there with that, so we'll see what National Weather Service did with that one. All right, this one really came down in intensity there, 60 miles an hour, quarter-sized hail. So we are now basically just baseline with our hail and our wind out of that one. So that's some good news. That one's coming on down. We still have until 11:30, so you got a new one there that just came out. So destructive for Alfalfa counties, Woods counties. That one goes until 12:15. Let's see what the reasoning for that one would be. So very large hail now at this one. So tornado possible tag with it. We got 70 mile per hour wind and the chance for baseball-sized hail with this one. So we are still looking at radar-indicated storms out of this one, but you can still see that we've got a very large area there of hail that could be up to baseball size in diameter, if not even greater than that. So you got your 3+ inch hail there showing up there for within Woods County there with this destructive severe thunderstorm warning that goes until 12:15 in the morning. So there's a tornado possible tag with it, which means that we're probably looking at a lower tornado threat with this thing. But we've got very heavy rain, strong winds up to 70 miles an hour, and then huge hail with it too, up to baseball sized. So we still have those issues there to contend with our storm. The tornado warning here likely not going to be reissued. We'll give it a few more minutes here just to make sure. But we think that because the severe thunderstorm warning on it has the tornado possible tag on it, that's probably going to be what will replace the actual tornado warning itself. The reason why we think that, we can kind of see that our velocity is not very good looking. It's pretty broad. And even though we are very rural in northern and northwest Oklahoma, the Vance Air Force Base in Jet is right there. So we've got a really good view at this. And so there's definitely rotation with this storm for sure, but we're going to be able to get a pretty good low look at this storm, and it really does not have much there in terms of any low-level rotation that would be concerning for a tornado, at least compared to what it looked like earlier on there. So there's clearly rotation with it, but the severe thunderstorm warning with the tornado possible tag is likely going to take care of that, and that will continue until 12:15 here for tonight. Very large hail, very heavy rains out of this thing too, and that's going to continue here for the next about 45 minutes or so. Again, we'll look at what it's doing here in terms of movement, and you can kind of see that it's moving only east at around 25 miles an hour. So we'll draw it from that spot there, 25 miles an hour. Yeah, so the Tacoma area at around 11:49 arrival time here. But really, though, it's already about to be storming there pretty soon. So we just need to be making sure that we are away from our windows and kind of treat this like a tornado warning just because of how strong this storm is. Having huge hail like that up to baseball sized, that is definitely a thing that we have to make sure that we are ways away from the windows from, because that clearly could obviously do enough damage on its own. Plus, then we also have our 70-mile-per-hour winds associated with this storm too. So there's a lot here still to monitor with this storm here. Again, Alva, the Brink area, the Ashley area, the UED area, Carmen, Burlington, Cherokee, you're kind of right there on the edge. Again, all these spots here are in the potential zone there for some very large hail, some very strong winds, and also the chance for some very heavy rain too. Again, you got the large hail potential there. You've got some strong winds potential there too. So again, we may lose the tornado warning on this thing, but it still remains a very dangerous storm that we need to make sure that we keep an eye on here as we head towards 12:15 in the morning. That's when that tornado, or when this severe thunderstorm warning, destructive severe thunderstorm warning will come to an end here. Again, on the far western end of it, Carmen, the UED, Ashley areas, you guys need to also make sure that we are taking this one seriously here, because again, the weird movement of this storm means that it might be moving a little bit more to the east, or it may try to move a little bit more to the northeast too. We just aren't really sure right now, because when it moves slow like this, it can sometimes use its own velocity and its own rotation to kind of spin itself around and move itself around. So you could definitely still tell that the thing is still rotating, heading towards the Tacoma area. But again, if it begins to kind of turn more to the north there, that would be an area that we'd have to watch out for the Ashley area or the Brink area, for example. But we have, again, the severe thunderstorm warning, destructive severe thunderstorm warning tag on this thing. There's a tornado possible still with it too. The area of rotation is still there. Might be looking to be a little bit more broad, but as we kind of watch it, just playing around here with our view, you can just kind of see that it tries to tighten up at times here, and then it begins to kind of break apart a little bit more there. You can kind of see that right there, south of the Avard area and south of the Hopeton area there too. So there's some spots where it kind of breaks up a little bit more, and that is going to be what we have to watch out for in terms of it trying to spin something back up again here. So that's why this warning polygon here is so large. It's, again, just to take into effect and take into account the fact that the storms are hard to predict here in terms of their movement here this evening based on how the atmosphere is set up. So you can see now that we are done with our tornado warning. So that is now done. You'll also see, too, that I'll turn our loop off here. You can see too that most of the storm is out of that Garfield County warning there, so that's also some good news there too. But really, though, it's just going to be this big storm, this big supercell here in the northern part of the state that has the warnings on there until 12:15. So as of right now, there's currently no tornado warning anymore. If we can, the back guys, if we are good to go back to programming. Okay, yep, we're getting ready. So we will still obviously keep an eye on this storm. There's a potential for it to kind of pulse back up and spring back up again, a new tornado warning. And if it does, we're going to keep an eye on it here. But right now, it has at least come down with that severe potential. The problem is, though, is that it's, again, very, very dangerous storm in terms of the large hail and the damaging winds there with it, too. So we could still be looking at some large hail. Could be looking at easily golf balls, maybe even close to baseball-sized hail, and also winds of 70 miles an hour, too. So there is a chance that this storm can still remain quite strong here over the next couple hours. But we'll watch the storm here closely, and also any more of them that will pop up. And if we get new warnings that are tornado warnings, we will for sure come in and break them to you. But for now, we will go back to regular programming.